welcome on a very special guest. It is Riley Lee's NFL rookie of the Cincinnati Bengals. Riley, what's up, dude? How are you?
Good. That's the first time I've heard my name and that after. It's kind of sweet.
It's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, how weird does that feel?
Feels weird, but then at the same time, like I got a lot of work to do to maintain that. So maintain that calling card that comes after my name. So
well, let's start there. Like, what's that process? What was that process like for you? Maybe start like you could talk college if you want, but like the pre-draft process to draft to all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, actually, like this whole year was just pretty crazy with COVID and everything, not knowing, because from everything I knew going into my last year was my senior season was like my make it or break it for an NFL opportunity. Like I had good tape. I played for 3 years, but like there's just like, I'm not like a guy going out there and getting 15 catches, 200 yards a game. Like, and so like when the season got canceled, there was a moment when the season got canceled where I was like, dude, do I want to do another college off season and wait another year or however? Like at that moment, like we didn't know, like, is it going to be like 2 years? Like what? So there was like a moment where me and my roommates were like, dang, dude, like the season got canceled. I think we were like a week in like a week into camp, the first round, and it was so dumb. It was like we couldn't face the defense. We were wearing masks under our helmet. Like it was It was so dumb. And like we kind of saw the rumblings on Twitter and stuff, and we told Fitz, we're like, dude, why are we practicing? Like a bunch of the leaders were like, dude, the season's getting canceled. So we cut it off before the season even got canceled. That happens. There was a week. I don't know. I'm rambling. I started off on your question, but this is my whole process into where I'm at now. So I'll just keep going.
Yeah, you're good.
Season gets canceled, and then me and my roommates, my parents have a house in Door County. We go up there for a week thinking like, dang, we might never play football again. Just played golf for a week and we're just hanging out. And then a week or two later, they're like, yep, back on. So everyone get in shape again. And we were like, oh God. So that happened. But the season obviously for us went well. We got to end up playing, I think we played 10 games, which was more than a lot of teams. We only had one game get canceled. Season went, and I didn't have as productive as a year as I wanted. We got a new offense and everything. Obviously, we had a great season, but like personally, it wasn't. I took a step down numbers wise, but in terms of my role, it was the same. I was doing punt return and some kick return, and I was making plays at crucial moments. I got to like throw and stuff. Like I was still doing stuff, but my numbers weren't as pretty. So I was kind of like, dang, like what do I do? Because we get another year because of COVID. Like I could technically be in college and play another year. So I was trying to figure out what did I want to do. Did I want to go back? Did I want to take a shot? And talking to people, it was like I had 4 years of film. There was some talk too with like the draft class this year. Next year's draft class is going to be super loaded in terms of just numbers because you got everyone who's going to be graduating anyway, and then who stayed and came back another year. So for me, that was like one of the biggest things that was like, okay, I'm just going to do it now and shoot my shot now. But yeah, and then I had a total shift of focus. Training for football and training for a pro day is completely different.
For sure.
Yeah, and I was like beat up from the season, so you got to recover, but you also don't have time to really recover. You got like 6-7 weeks because we played our bowl game on New Year's Day, and Northwestern has one of the first pro days. It's early March. I think it was like March 9th or something. So you get like a week or two to recover, and then you just got to get right back into it. But your training is completely different. You're working on starts, you're working on top end speed. But it was pretty good. I loved what I did. Pro day went really well. That was another thing that was super important for me to get a shot, was having a good pro day.
Yeah.
And I was super
and you ran
happy
pretty well, right? You ran pretty well, right?
Yeah. So my pro day, I basically hit everything that I mentally in my head wanted. So in my end, things worked out really well. And then yeah, after that, it's just kind of, and it was just kind of waiting. And then draft weekend came, and I was in Wisconsin again. I was playing golf, trying to get my mind off it, especially when Saturday came around. And then the draft ended, and it was probably like 30 seconds later that my agent called me. He's like, you getting impatient yet? I was like, no, I was literally laying down in the grass in the front yard with my roommate. Like, we were just sitting there. I was just chilling. And I didn't think it would be that fast. I didn't know how that stuff worked. Like, I was like, okay, if I'm going undrafted, like, is this like I'm going to hear in an hour? And it was literally 30 seconds. Like, but yeah, obviously that was exciting. But
so. Yeah, man, that's great.
Yeah.
It's cool too to be able to, like, I don't know, you get the fruits of your labor, definitely meeting the expectations you probably had for yourself, but like even exceeding, like, for pro day and what have you. Can you talk a little bit about the difference? I'm sure there's a lot, but the difference between college style training and practice, as well as, and between NFL and college training, essentially. What's that like? What are a few main differences? Maybe people don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've only experienced training or mini camp and OTAs, so I don't have what the season looks like, but I mean,
so
basically
far.
So far. And I mean, it's just, I think the biggest difference is it's very independent. Like right now, if I was in college, I'd be at school training every day with the team, doing all that, but everyone's at home doing their own thing right now. Mini camp ended, and we get 6 weeks, and then you just show up to training camp. You got to show up with the right weight, got a conditioning test first day or second day, something like that. So it's really just up to you. It's a job now, and you're just expected to do what you need to do outside of it. So I think that's one of the biggest differences. But when I was there, like, the lifting was pretty similar in terms of how it was set up. Like, you have a card, and you're not just like BSing in the weight room. Like, it's a normal thing. But like right now, this is the biggest difference I've noticed, is like I'm on my own to get right for training camp.
Yeah.
And like going on kind of like another difference too, like how weird is it, or how weird do you think it's going to be, or maybe not weird at all, that like you're what, 23, 22?
23, yeah.
And like you're going to be in a locker room with guys that are like 34 and have a couple kids, and they're like, oh, I got to pick my kid up from school. Like,
yeah,
how weird is that going to be?
I've already experienced some of that, because the Bengals, everyone was at OT, like the whole team was present for all the OTAs and minicamp, which was abnormal for this year. But so obviously it was good to meet all the guys. But yeah, like our punter is like, I don't know how old he is, but he's like upper 30s, and like he's like older than the head coach, I think. Like, it's just like stuff like that. It's just like super weird. Guys are talking about like, yeah, I got to go home, got to change a diaper, stuff like that. And I'm like, I just finished school. Like, so, but no, it's super cool though. Like, obviously I'm in the locker room with guys that like it's even weird to say like grew up watching, because like some of them are like 3 years older than me, but you like know who they are. You're watching them in the national championship and stuff, and it's like, okay, well, now we're teammates. So
right, it's crazy. What's I guess I wanted to ask this, like, what is one of your favorite things, kind of backtracking a little bit to college? Coach Fitz, I had met him maybe once, but I just want to know, like, as a coach, how you liked him? What was he like day in, day out? Seems like an awesome dude, and feels like pretty genuine. Sure. So
yeah, I think with Coach Fitz, he's like a coach that you can genuinely say that what you see is what you get. He doesn't BS, but he's definitely a player's coach. He gets you right, and he's every day he's like bringing the energy. You can, like, he just loves football, and he loves Northwestern. And he's definitely like one of the best coaches I've ever played for, probably is. And Yeah, like the culture at Northwestern too, I think, which is a credit to Coach Fitz and the coaching staff and everyone there, is I think different than a lot of places. Like I think everyone on the team was super close with each other. And I think that ultimately led to the success that we had. Like we're one of those teams that doesn't get a ton of like 4 or 5 stars, but we're going out there and we're winning divisions. We're in the Big Ten championship. We're doing things like that. And I think that's a credit to the coaching staff and also the guys too. Like I've also realized like the star stuff really means nothing. But like to some people it does. So when people see Northwestern, they're like, oh, they're not good. A bunch of nerds. And it's like, well, we're beating your school every year. So I don't know what you want us to say to you, but I think all that stuff's a Coach Fitz and everything that he does.
Do you feel like he's prepared? Go ahead, Drew. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You first.
Do you think he's prepared you well for what you're facing now?
Definitely. I think the way that we did practice and the way that we prepared is super. We practiced hard, and it made the games easier. So like, I think the way I have been taught to practice, I think has one, helped me be a better football player, but two's helped me to like, because like the NFL is a little different with like how practice is run. It's a lot of non-contact, like it's a lot of stuff like that. Cause like it's NFL, guys are older and guys, they know how to play football. It's a lot of just like knowing where to be, what to do. Obviously training camp's going to be different, but just like it's prepared me for what possibly is going to come in training camp, what will come in training camp, I think. And even like preparation with like how to learn the playbook and stuff, that stuff came pretty quick so far with Cincy. And I think that's a credit to like how we did things at Northwestern and how we were taught how to learn the playbook really.
And kind of taking a turn, but like we've had an Ohio State guy on the podcast and we got like his opinion on like what like the best place to play was and like who had like the nicest away locker rooms and like what was the worst place to play and who had the worst away locker rooms. Like what's your take on that, like being in the Big Ten? Like what was the best and what was the worst?
Well, I'm just assuming if he's played at Northwestern, he probably would say it's the worst away locker room. Just saying.
He didn't actually.
He didn't, dude.
He did
It's
not.
terrible. It is terrible. It's so funny. I'll get back to that in a second. But for me, there's 2 play. Oh gosh, it's hard. So actually, I never got to play at Penn State, Michigan, or Ohio State. Every time we played them, because in the other division, every time we played them, we were at home. So
that sucks.
Those are
sweet stadiums to play at.
I know, like 3 of like the biggest ones, but I think they played at all 3 of them my senior year of high school, I think.
Wow.
So I never got that chance, but dude, it's hard. I want it like the 3 that are in my head where it's like those are awesome is Iowa, Wisconsin, and Nebraska, and they're all for different reasons. Iowa's fun because the fans are literally like as close as this wall to me. Like they are right behind you. They used to be able to like steal people's helmets. Like they would do a bunch of stuff. And like when you're winning, they're talking trash and some guys will talk back and it's super funny. Nebraska is just crazy loud. And the fans are like the nicest people in the world. It's like super weird. You'll win, you'll be running off the field and they'll be like, thanks for coming out, guys, like great game. And it's like, I don't know. But and then Wisconsin, obviously Camp Randall was awesome. But I think my favorite place to play is Iowa because it's super compact and it feels almost like personal when you win. Like the fans are right there and you can just see like how mad they are. Because I think played there twice and we won both times.
Yeah, I think you guys won the Big Ten West 2019?
2018, yeah.
2018,
yeah, that was
sick.
That was hilarious. They were mad at us, but I think we kind of celebrated in the middle of the field, but whatever. And yeah, but I think that environment's just like that is college football.
Yeah,
and it was definitely one of the most fun places to play. So,
what about the Northwestern visiting locker room?
Oh, it's so
because
bad.
we've played in some pretty bad visiting locker rooms, and it's just brutal.
Well, Ryan Field itself is just super old.
Yeah.
And the away locker room, we joke that like it's not even a joke. Like it's a thing. Like when we get an 11 o'clock home game, we get so pumped up because we're like, dude, this team is not going to wake up to the second half because
It's a mindset.
Dude, because the stadium doesn't get full until like halfway through the first quarter, end of first quarter. It's 11 o'clock. It's cloudy. It's 45 degrees. It's like a Big Ten game, but you're not at Nebraska where everyone's in their seat and there's 110,000 people ready to go. The locker room is literally a stool and a hook. Like, I don't even think there's lockers.
Yeah.
It is it's so bad, but it's like when we call 11 o'clock home games cat time. We call it cat time. So we get super pumped. We get super pumped out. Especially too, I've learned to love 11 o'clock games over night games. Night games are cool because the atmosphere is cool, but you're also stuck in a hotel all day. When it's an 11 o'clock game, you're waking up at like 7:30 and it's just go time. So
yeah, I grew up going to games at Ryan Field all the time, and it's just such a cool night game spot. And even like during the day, like it feels more like a little more laid back, but it gets rowdy, like you said.
Yeah, night games at Ryan Field are pretty sweet. We've had some good games there. Like we played Notre Dame there when they were, I think they were top 5 or top 10, and it was pretty sold out, or it was sold out. And it was a good environment. Played Ohio State at night there too, but that was the year that we stunk and they were in the Natty. We lost by like 50, but it was still a cool environment. But at least I love Ryan Field. Don't get me wrong, but it's just it's old. It's old.
It's a it's our tough looking place. It's a tough looking place, but it's our tough looking place.
It's gritty.
It's gritty. Gritty, not pretty.
Yeah. I'm gritty, not pretty. Just the Northwestern way.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure we played. I think most locker rooms we played in, Joey, didn't even have a stool.
Yeah, most of them you just kind of set your bag down and it's a free for all.
Yeah.
There was one. Morehead State has their locker room has no stall in between the toilets, so you just you get real close with the person next to you. If you choose to do it at that time.
And a lot of people got to get a little nervous stomach. So
yeah,
it's good. It's good stuff. That's awesome.
Perfect recipe. Going back to NFL, so undrafted free agents in the past, there's been a lot of really good ones off the top of my head. Kurt Warner, Tony Romo, Arian Foster. So like the path has been Wes Welker for receiver. So like the path has been kind of shown, like it seems from an outsider's point of view, like as long as you're working hard, like getting in the weight room all the time, getting to know your playbook all the time, like the answer seems really easy, but like what being in it now, what's, not so easy about it, I guess. And that's kind of a dumb question, but it just seems the formula is like work hard, study hard, play good, but that's not always that easy.
Yeah, I think just so far, like no one looks at you and is like, oh, that guy's an undrafted, it's like you get your fair share. Like I was getting my reps like everyone else in OTAs and mini camp. And like you said, a lot of it is getting in the playbook, knowing the playbook, earning the quarterback's trust, earning the coach's trust, and special teams. Like a lot of the talk in the NFL is like, what's your value? Like it can be two guys. One guy's a really good receiver, but that's all he can do. One guy might be a little worse or just as good at receiver, but now he's able to play gunner on punt. He's able to block at the front line of kickoff. He's able to return kicks. Like there's a bunch of stuff because you only get 50, what is it, 55 now? I don't know what they changed it, but
I think 55.
You only get 55 guys. It's not like college where you have 90 guys on the sideline. You got 55 guys, so everyone who's active is going to be playing. So you got to be able to have some value to be able to just do more. Obviously, unless you're you're the guy at receiver. Like if you're a guy that's in the rotation, but you're not playing every snap, you got to be able to do something else. And that's been a lot of my focus too, is like not only learning receiver, but also trying to do things on special teams that I haven't done yet, but that I know I'm capable of, just being able to learn those. And like I've returned punts for 4 years. So I know I'm really, really comfortable doing that. But also adding different things like being able to play on kickoff return and going to block or whatever, being on punt or using my speed at that spot. So I think I've just realized that like I've got to just push myself a little bit to do things that I might not be comfortable with at first and just give them a shot and do it as hard as I can and hope to earn the special teams coach trust too.
And you've done a lot of different utility things, like since you came, because you're a quarterback in high school, and then you go to Northwestern, you're doing punt returning, you're probably on other special teams, you're playing receiver full time. Like, so
Yep.
it definitely helps probably, I imagine, to have the idea, an IQ like that a quarterback would have, like Joe Burrow would have, where you know where he has to go with the football or what have you. So you put yourself in a spot where only he can throw it and you can catch it, right?
Yeah, and I think that was one of the biggest things that helped me in college too. Because like my first year that I was playing, I redshirted my first year. My redshirt freshman year when I was like the four, like we go 10 personnel, 4 receivers. I was in, or if the slot guy Flynn Nagel was starting in front of me, if he got tired, I would go in. But I think I took a big step my freshman to sophomore and then sophomore to junior year because I was able to know, one, I got better at receiver because it was new to me. So I was super raw, but being able to know where the quarterback's reads were, who they were, and what their progression was helped me know, like, I need to be in this spot. I need to get around this guy, whatever. And like, there were a lot of times where it's like, I'm looking pre-snap, especially towards the end of my career when I like knew the offense super well, where I was like, okay, I'm getting the ball this play based off the look and things like that. And it just helps your mindset too. So
Like
helps you play faster and stuff. So
yeah.
So like, would you say that, well, like just for people like listening and they see like these guys like run these 40s and have these verticals and have like over 20 reps on 225, like at the end of the day, like, yeah, that helps, but it's definitely more the mental side of the game that is like what gets guys to stay in the NFL and like be in the NFL.
Yeah, for sure. Football is a huge game of like chess, especially nowadays. Like there's so much stuff that the offense and defense can do to give different looks and things like that. And like the guys in the NFL are there for a reason. They're freak athletes, and they're also, a lot of them, I'm realizing, like they're all super smart. Like they know like the way things are taught are like when we install play, like we're going through the progression. Our coach quizzes us on the progression, like what's he looking at, who's he looking at, so that we all know, because that just helps the offense flow better and it helps everyone execute.
So you have
Yeah, that's
to,
good.
so do you have to, like, I was a kicker, obviously, but like, does it change too to the amount you have to know? So it goes like, it's like, you know, your route, but you also have to know like the quarterback's progression. Like, like when is he looking at you? Like, it's like, are you like his first option, second, like, and like,
Yeah.
kind of understanding that?
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that goes into it, because then it's like, all right, everyone's running deep this play and I'm the short route. But if we get pressure and I know where the pressure is and I know who's not blocked, then it's like, okay, I need to be the one to get my head around fast because I'm his hot route. Like there's things like that like you need to know, that helps everyone. Because if you're not ready and the quarterback's looking to throw it to you and he throws it and you're not looking, it's going to be a pick, or he's going to get sacked because he's holding onto the ball because you're not ready. So like there's a bunch of stuff that goes into it. And then being able to recognize coverages so that you know who you're running your route off of, because coverages will change that a lot. And then there's a lot of routes that you run that will change based off your landmark will change based off the coverage. So like knowing what the defense is doing is a huge part of playing receiver. So
I like it. I kind of want to switch gears a little bit. I found this article from your last bowl game against Auburn. Did you show your coaches this article? Because we talked about gritty earlier, and this is like the grittiest thing I've ever seen. You said, I'm going to play until something pops out.
Oh, was that after the game?
Yeah. You said, I told my coaches I'm going to play till something pops out. And then what else?
Did I say that in a newspaper?
You did. The Tribune.
I did tell him that. Yeah.
You said I wasn't feeling hot. I was definitely in survival mode.
Yeah, I went down a couple of times that game. I herniated my disc like in the first quarter. So I think like near halftime, I was taking a couple steps and it was hitting my nerve, and my left leg was like, dude, it was, oh God, it hurt so bad.
I bet, dude. That's insane.
But I was like, last game, my coach was like, "Are you good?" Like, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play until I can." So
that's wild. I mean,
Yeah,
did you just put that newspaper across from Zach Taylor and just say, "This is literally me.
this is who you're getting"?
I just play through everything.
I mean, you have to. It was the last ride with the guys, and I ended up scoring after that too, which is pretty fun. So got to score in my last game. Converted a fourth down on the last drive, and yeah, my last play was catching a fourth down pass. So yeah, and then I got off the plane and I felt awful. So, but we recovered. We're good now. Back's all good. No issues. So
Yeah, it's like hypothetically, not saying this did happen, but it could happen. Like, do they have stuff hypothetically that they can give you like at halftime that's a little stronger than your ibuprofen?
hypothetically,
Okay, I was just curious.
Bevy got a cortisone shot at some point. Three.
Yeah, I wasn't cortisone, but no, it was. I definitely got a something to help me keep going. So
yeah,
but it's football. You got to do what you got to do.
It's just gritty. That's just that's Riley Lee's gritty.
Yeah.
I actually, we did a little bit of research and reached out to a mutual friend of ours, Tucker Marty, Andrew Marty. And he gave gave some deets for us. I wanted to ask you about your experience in a band.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yeah.
It sounds like you were hoping I was gonna ask you about that.
I'm just super excited that you brought it up because it was probably the peak of my life, to be honest. Anything I do in football won't top what we did as a band at Northwestern.
What'd you guys? So what kind of band were you? Were you rock or were you guys ska? What was it?
We played what the people wanted. We kind of favored towards the pop punk, like early 2000s era.
Okay.
Like a little Bowling for Soup in 1985.
Some Jimmy Eat World.
Oh yeah. We played the middle. Don't worry.
Perfect.
Like Ocean Avenue.
What instrument were you? Drums?
Yeah, it was drums.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty funny like how it started. We were all in a dorm together and we were trying to find Rock Band, the game, and we couldn't find it anywhere. And my buddy was like, I'm just gonna go buy a guitar. And we're like, really? And he went to Guitar Center, got a guitar, started learning. And then our other buddy was like, yeah, I'm actually like playing the bass right now. I'm just like learning it. And we were like, oh, that's awesome. And then other roommate was in show choir in high school, so he can sing pretty well.
Nice.
And then we were like, dude, I was like, I'll learn the drums, but I was like, I have to play a drum set. It sucks. But I guess I can tell it now because it's actually, I'll tell it, whatever. If I get in legal trouble, it's whatever. No one even noticed. We were in in our dorm in the basement. Like, this was so ironic. We walked downstairs, or someone was, and like, dude, you know, there's like an old music room in the basement, and there was a full drum set down there. Whoa. And we were like, dude, no way. So we started going down there for like a couple times a week. We would go down there, but we just like, no one played an instrument before. So then we just started going, whatever. And we just started learning songs on YouTube and stuff. And then we slowly started playing together. And then we may or may not have moved the drum set into our house that we moved into.
Yeah,
hypothetically.
Yeah.
Just like the stuff they give. And then I kind of went from there, and we all got pretty we got pretty decent actually. Like we could play a song. Like we probably learned a few and then started kind of hyping it up a little bit throughout campus. And then we called our band Foster Revival because the first song we learned was Fortunate Son by Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Oh, nice.
And we lived on Foster Street, so we made the name Foster Revival.
I like it.
we started hyping it up, and then everyone was like, when's the band playing? When's the band playing? And like, oh, we'll wait for a good whatever. And then we beat Nebraska in overtime at an 11 a.m. game. So it was like 2-3 o'clock on a Saturday. And we're like, boys, is tonight the night? So we bring everyone, and we had a huge thing at our house. We had a huge basement. There's a ton of people there, like probably like over 100 people in our house. And we got through like 5 or 6 songs, and then the cops came, and then we became a thing for a little bit, played a couple basement concerts. And then we ended up actually getting to play the Northwestern Sports Awards night. And there was like probably a few hundred people there, like the whole athletic community was there. We got to play a couple songs. So I will say I have not touched a drum set since. So, but yeah, it was an awesome time. It was sweet.
That's wild. And you guys actually like took it all the way. Like you found this random drum set to finish the set, and then you literally performed. You said,
we literally started from not knowing how to play to like we could play a few songs, and then we probably had like 15 songs that we knew, and just like would mix it up every now and then. We probably played like 2 or 3 times at our house, and then the one time at the Nespys, which is the Sports Awards night. Yeah, it was super fun.
You got to do that for your rookie talent show,
dude. I was actually thinking about that. I was like, if they do that, like, what do I do? But like, I haven't even touched a drumstick since that night. Like, we literally were like, all right, that's it, because we moved out of our house, and we were like, oh well.
Well, we're done. Looks like the band's broken up.
But we've taken some of the credit, because the first year the band was a thing, we won the West for the first time ever. So
hey, nice.
So we think there's a little correlation, because we brought a little mojo to the football team, you know.
Hey, but correlation doesn't equal causation. Drew knows that. He's in grad school for science, but in this case, could be.
I mean, I think so, because the electricity on campus was nowhere where it's ever been before. So
yeah, that's great. All right, so that's good about your band. I was curious too. Now that you're in Cincy, are you thumbs up, thumbs down to Skyline Chili? We only ask the hard-hitting questions here.
Dude, you're going to be really mad at me. I was there for 6 weeks, and I didn't get it one time.
Did you get Raising Cane's?
I've had Cane's. There was one at Loyola's campus, so it was like 15 minutes from us. So I've had Cane's a lot.
What about?
But Skyline, no. Huge Taste of Belgium guy, though. I don't know if that's a Cincy thing.
Taste of Belgium?
Yeah, dude. Recommend for breakfast if you ever see one.
Got it.
Chicken and waffles off the chart.
Drew, have you been there?
I have not. I think it's like a Cincinnati thing.
Really?
Yeah, it was one in the Banks.
What's Belgian about a place in Cincinnati?
Waffles.
Just the waffles?
Waffles.
Waffles just a plaid pancake if you really think about it.
No, but their waffles weren't like a waffle that you think of. They like, you almost like didn't even need syrup for it.
I'm pretty sure it's called a pancake.
No, it was like you just have to have it. You have to have it, and
Drew, you're wrong.
Yeah, don't disrespect Taste of Belgium. That's my spot. That was my Sunday morning solo breakfast spot.
The solo breakfast is underrated.
Dude, I told someone that the other day, actually. Like, going to breakfast by yourself is one of the most relaxing things that you can do. It's awesome.
It is, yeah. I
agree.
Therapeutic.
You grab. I would go there. They have like a bar area, so you just seat yourself. I would sit at the bar, and it was a couple F1 races on. I enjoy watching F1, so I would sit there, drink a coffee, have my breakfast, and just watch whatever was on. Typically the Formula 1 races, but like, dude, it was awesome. It's like
who's your F1 team?
Dude, so I'm very new to it.
I'm pretty new too. I'm only about halfway through season 1. So
so I finished. I smoked through it. I love that show. It's awesome. So that got me super into it. So I was like, well, there's like way more stuff that goes into it than I realized. But I think like it's hard to not like Danny Ricciardo.
He's a likable guy.
He's a very likable guy. So I don't want to spoil anything, but she switches teams.
I knew that
But it's
part.
not
I knew
even
that part.
okay, yeah. So like I've been kind of rooting for McLaren. But at the same time, like I've been rooting for Red Bull this year because like it's nice to see someone else at the top. Like Mercedes has won, I think 7 years in a row, and Lewis Hamilton's won 7 years in a row. So like Max Verstappen's like he's winning right now. It's pretty tight, but like it'd be pretty cool to see Verstappen and Red Bull win again and like take just to see a change up, you know? Like
Yeah.
no
Something
disrespect to
different at the top.
Mercedes. Like I respect the 7 years in a row. Like they've been dominant, but it's cool to see someone else and a little competition at the top. So
Yeah, I like that.
So then do you care more about like the drivers or like the constructors? Like you care more about the team championship or more
it's
about
both. It's both. Like because it's like when you watch, have you seen Formula One, Drew?
Oh, I've watched all 3
Or
seasons.
the show? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like I don't know. It's just super weird to me because like every year there's like 2 teams that are just like 2 to 3 teams that are just above and beyond everybody else. Like and then there's like the competition for like 4th place from everyone else, you know?
Or like teams like 0 points, like Williams Racing and like
Right. And it's like
Haas
you
and
look at
everything.
team Haas. They kind of stink right now. But yeah, it's like if that was like something that was new to me because I knew nothing. Like I thought they drove the same cars. Like I thought it was just like whatever. And like obviously they all have different cars. Everyone designs their own and all that. And it's just so like weird. It's just so weird that like there'll be races where it's like teams get like 5th place and they're like super pumped up. And I'm thinking like, no, that's like super good for them because they just got like a ton of points and they like didn't win obviously, but like no one was going to beat Mercedes that day. Like they won by like a lap. And it's just like, so I don't know what I root for. I kind of just like, I think I have like a separate viewpoint. Like it's like right now, I'm like, when I watch, I'm like, okay, Red Bull versus Mercedes. And then like McLaren's kind of right there too. And then after that, then you like root for like the mid-tier teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, then you like watch that competition. There's like 2 races within the race almost.
Yeah.
And then there's like the crazy races that like people crash. And then like you see a team like, there was one, I think it was like season 3 when McLaren won the race and they had 2 guys on the podium and like Red Bull and Mercedes were like out of it. It's like that's super cool to see too. But the way it's structured, it's you kind of see like 2 races within the race.
Yeah.
Like that.
And for those of you at home, I don't know if we said it out loud, but it's called Drive to Survive. It's on Netflix. Highly recommend.
Highly recommend.
I thought it would be
sure.
not fun, but it's actually, I think I watched all 3 seasons in like 2 weeks.
That's what I did. I got stuck on it and I would just get back and I'd just turn it on. It's awesome.
That's good. Let's one more NFL question and we can wrap up. But Riley, now like going to training camp, what do you 3 or 4 weeks left till training camp?
I want to say
it's like usually end of July, right?
I want to say 4 weeks from Friday. Maybe it might be. It's July 23rd is when I got to report. I just don't know the math in my head. I think it's 3 weeks from Friday.
What's been, I guess, like, what's the difference? For those who may not know, OTAs and training camp, maybe they feel like the same thing to the outset, but what's the biggest difference? Is it as far as like maybe mentally, as far as maybe physically training all the time? What's the mojo like? How are you getting better all the time? Like, I guess overarching view of like that difference between OTAs is a little more laid back versus training camp. Like obviously it's intense. We've seen Hard Knocks kind of shows,
Yeah.
So maybe touch a little bit on that.
Yeah, I think for me, I took my mindset I had no idea what to expect in OTAs when I got there. Like I didn't know what the tempos and things like that were going to be. So I had an approach of like, this is going to be like padded and stuff, and it ended up not being. But I think just it's just like it's not college where you're fighting for you are fighting for a spot, but you're also fighting for your income and your job. So it's like you have to know that that's everyone's approach. Like, we're all fighting for a job. Like, it's not like you don't get the spot and then you're just the backup for the year and you're on the team and you're just kind of chilling. It's no, you're getting cut and you're not going to have any source of income. Right. So like, it's a completely different mental approach when you go in there. But I think just like for me, I'm at a point with football where it's like, I'm just going to go and like, I just love playing football and I want to try to play as long as I can. And I'm just, my goal for myself is just like have no regrets with anything that happens. Like whatever happens, happens. But as long as I know that I did everything in my power, because there's a lot of stuff that you can't control. I'm just going to go with everything that I know I can do. And just in reality, it's just playing football. And I'm just going to go have fun with it and let the chips fall where they may. And I'm obviously, my goal is to make the active roster and be a contributor in the NFL, because it's obviously every little kid's dream when they're playing football. So I'm just trying to live out my dream and make it work. So
love it. It's got to feel pretty sick in the striped helmet too. Those are bad.
Yeah, first time I put it on, I'm like, this is pretty dope.
And they got the new unis. What do you think of the new unis? Well, obviously you're going to say you love them because.
No, I actually do really like them. So my roommate's from Loveland. He's a suburb of Cincy. He's a huge Bengals fan. So he was super pumped up, and like we were talking about like the uniforms and like these, I like them. They're more subtle, but they're clean. That's the best way to describe it. They're clean.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and the black and orange, obviously. I mean, Libertyville, now the Bengals. That's a good color combo,
Yeah, I hate that. I hate the Libertyville part of it, but.
No. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm out of questions. Drew, do you have any more?
No, just good luck with everything. Hope it all works out.
Yeah, man, this is awesome to have you on, and hopefully we can get you back, and when you're wearing the uniform and everything, and best of luck to you. It's going to be awesome to watch you progress and knock it out of the park.
Appreciate you, man. When everything hopefully works out, and we can do this again in like January or something. Get a little rookie season overview. A
little rookie season recap. Maybe see if do we know who's on Hard Knocks this year? Could the Bengals be on Hard Knocks?
I don't think they can, because they were within the last like 5 years or something. I was hoping it. I was joking with my friends. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna bring the mustache back and just like be that guy. There's always that guy, like
the mustache and the drum set guy. And then you could go up there. You could say, if you want it, like you bring somebody else up and you say, "Don't touch my drum set."
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They walk off, and you do it. Yeah, you do Eruption by Van Halen.
Yeah, I couldn't do that in a million years if I kept playing the drums. I'm so average. It's great. I learned that the drums, it's easy to be good, but it's hard to be great, if that makes sense. Like you can play a song and you can keep a beat and like you can do all that, but it's hard to like be awesome at the drums, like being able to do sweet stuff. And I was never able to do that. I just didn't have the time.
Yeah, I've got no rhythm, so you can miss me with that.
Yeah, no, it's you start to realize that you can really make anything sound okay at the drums. You just got to keep a beat, put a little average fill back there. But like I never did anything that sounded sweet, so that's why we never made it big time. But it's on me. Well, I tell the guys that it's on me.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we get an exception to the rule, get you guys on Hard Knocks and see what that's like. See a little Lee's action, some gritty action,
some grit out there.
All right, man. This was awesome. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Talk soon. Take care.
Yes, sir.
Yo, microphone check, make it a microphone check, give it a microphone, I make it a microphone dead.